Now, before I tackle these type of questions, just want to quickly remind you of square numbers. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 3, 9, 16, and so on. These are our square numbers. So if you did square root of 1, you should get 1. Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9, and so on. The reason why we get whole numbers here is because these numbers that we've listed are square numbers. But what if you want to find, let's say you took a number between 4 and 9. Let's say you took 5, for example, and you want to work out square root of 5. Obviously that's going to give you a decimal number, isn't it? Square root of 5, remember square root of 5 is in between square root of 4 and square root of 9. Square root of 5 will be an answer somewhere between 2 and 3. So if you just check the calculator, square root of 5, 2.23, which lies between the 2 and the 3. Right, now we can answer the questions. Write square root of 12 in the form a root b. So we need to find the value of a and the value of b, both being whole numbers, no decimal numbers. So when you see a question like this, ask yourself the question, what two numbers multiply together to give you 12? And the first number that you think of has to be the biggest square number you can think of. Right, so I can think of 4 and 3. 4 times 3 gives you 12. And check. Square root of 4 is a square number. So you can do square root of 4, that gives you 2. And then still you've got that square root symbol, over the 3. So that's just square root of 3. We're not going to work out square root of 3 because that would be a decimal number. We just leave it in surd form. Right, next question, root 50. What two numbers multiply together to give you 50? But the first number you think of has to be a square number. So that's going to be 25. 25 is a square number times 2. Square root of 25 you can do. That's just 5. And that's just going to be root 2. Right, this one here. What two numbers multiply together to give you 32? The first number has to be a square number, the biggest square number you can think of. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what some people do. Some people, thinking about what two numbers multiply together to give you 32, and the first number has to be a square number. Some people choose 4 and 8. And it's true, 4 times 8 does give you 32. Square root of 4, we get 2, and then root 8, you just leave it as root 8. But if you check the calculator, if I do square root of 32, press the equal button, I'll get 4 root 2. Here, I've got 2 root 2 for some reason. So how do I get 4 root 2? If I want it as 4 root 2, how do I do that? Well, suppose the question was like this, rewritten like this. Write root 32 in the form a root 2. So in other words, it has a 2 in it, and that's a big clue. So you think of two numbers when multiplied together to give you 32. And the first number that comes in your head has to be the biggest square number that works. Well, I can think of 16. 16 is a square number times 2. That does give you 32. Right, square root of 16 is 4. And then root 2 is just root 2. That's what I've got on the calculator. If you check on the calculator, 4 root 2. I can still, using this 2 root 8 over here, I can still get 4 root 2. If you just look over here, right, this root 8 Let me just highlight that for you. So this root 8 over here. Well, square root of 8, what two numbers multiply together to give you 8? First number has to be a square number. Obviously that's going to be 4 times 2. Square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2, and then root 2 is just root 2. But look at the end of this, we've got a 2 there. So I'm going to attach a 2 to the end of this. So here, now I've got 2 times 2 is 4. Right, see, 2 times 2 is 4. And then you've got the root 2, 4 root 2. And look, I've got the same answer as this one. But I feel this method here is way quicker. And if the question was written in the form if the question was square root of 32 in the form a root 2, that 2 there should have been a big clue.